Have you ever felt like you are slowly drying out from the inside no matter how much water you drink or how much lotion you apply? Maybe you have noticed that your skin feels thinner and more paper-like, or your eyes feel gritty and tired by the early afternoon. But it is not just the physical dryness that is worrying you, is it? It is that feeling of a dry fog settling over your mind, where focusing on a book or following a complex conversation feels harder than it used to. You might wonder if this is just the inevitable decline of aging, or if your body is trying to tell you that it is missing a critical building blocks. Here is a startling fact for you. By the time we reach age 60, our bodies may lose a significant ability to retain moisture and protect the fatty coating of our nerves, essentially leaving our internal wiring exposed and fraying. But what if I told you that this process is not entirely irreversible? What if the solution isn't in a pharmacy aisle, but sitting right there on a grocery shelf, hiding in plain sight? Today, we are going to talk about a specific type of natural healthy fat that acts as a master key to unlock hydration in your cells and sharpen your focus like a laser. It is not just about aging gracefully, it is about giving your body the raw materials it is crying out for to repair itself. We often think of dryness as a skin problem and lack of focus as a brain problem. But in the world of functional nutrition, these are often two sides of the same coin. They both signal that your cell membranes, the tiny protective walls around every single cell in your body, are becoming stiff and brittle. When those walls are stiff, nutrients cannot get in and waste cannot get out. Your brain cells literally starve, and your skin cells lose their plumpness. In this conversation, we are going to uncover the top natural oils that can reverse this drying process, with a special focus on the number one unsung hero that targets both your skin and your cognitive sharpness. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which oil to add to your morning routine to help you feel juicy, sharp, and vibrant again. But before we dive into these liquid goals, I have a small favor to ask. If you care about staying independent and keeping your mind sharp as you age, please consider subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications. We are building a community here dedicated to the health tips that often get overlooked in standard checkups. And I am curious, where in the world are you watching from today? Are you tuning in from the United States, the UK, Canada, or somewhere else entirely? Drop a comment below and let me know. I always love seeing how far our senior health family reaches, and it makes me feel like we are all in this living room together having a chat. Now let us get into the thick of it. To understand how to fix the dryness and the brain fog, we have to look at your diet not just as fuel, but as information. The oils and fats you eat tell your body what to do. The first oil we need to talk about is one you have likely heard of but probably are not using correctly for brain health, and that is avocado oil. Now you might be thinking, I eat avocados, isn't that enough? While the whole fruit is wonderful, the oil itself is a concentrated powerhouse of oleic acid, which is a monounsaturated fat that penetrates deep into your cellular structures. Think of your brain as a high-performance engine. It is actually made up of about 60% fat. If you deprive it of healthy oils, it is like trying to run a sports car on no oil. It creates friction, heat, and eventually damage. Avocado oil is unique because it is incredibly stable and it contains high levels of lutein. Lutein is a carotenoid that we usually associate with eye health, but recent studies have shown that it also accumulates in the brain, specifically in the areas responsible for memory and processing speed. So when you consume avocado oil, you are essentially lubricating your neural pathways. Imagine this scenario. You wake up in the morning and your eyes feel sticky and dry. You struggle to read the newspaper because your focus keeps drifting. This is often a sign of systemic inflammation drying out your mucous membranes. Avocado oil helps dampen that inflammation. A lovely way to use this is not just cooking with it, but drizzling a teaspoon over your salad or vegetables. Because it is so rich, it helps you absorb other nutrients from your food up to 17 times better. That means the vitamins in your spinach that protect your brain are actually getting into your system instead of just passing through. It is a simple swap, but it sets the foundation for a hydrated body. Moving on, let us talk about a powerhouse that is often misunderstood, and that is coconut oil, specifically for those moments when you feel like your brain is running through molasses. I know there has been controversy about saturated fats, but for seniors, especially those over 60, the conversation changes. As we age, our brains sometimes lose the ability to efficiently use glucose or sugar for fuel. This is like a power plant running out of coal. When your brain cannot get fuel, you get brain fog, you forget names, and you lose focus. This is where coconut oil steps in, specifically the medium chain triglycerides or MCTs found within it. Unlike other fats that have to go through a long digestion process, MCTs go straight to your liver and are turned into ketones. Ketones are like high-octane rocket fuel for your brains. They bypass the broken sugar pathways and light up your neurons almost instantly. There was a gentleman named Robert I worked with who was 72. He felt like he was losing his edge. He would walk into a room and forget why he was there constantly. We introduced just 1 teaspoon of organic coconut oil into his morning coffee. Within 2 weeks, he reported that the morning fog had lifted. He said it felt like someone had wiped a dirty windshield clean. However, a word of caution here. Coconut oil is powerful. If you have never taken it, start very small because it can upset your stomach if you rush it. And while it is great for brain focus, it is not the #1 oil for systemic dryness, which is the main villain we are hunting today. Coconut oil is great for energy, but we need something that repairs the barrier of your skin and your nerves. That leads us to our next critical oil, which is walnut oil. If you look at a walnut, it literally looks like a tiny brain, doesn't it? Nature often leaves us clues like that. Walnut oil is one of the few plant sources rich in ALA, a type of omega-3 fatty acid. You hear about omega-3s all the time, but why do they matter for dryness and focus? Think of your cell membranes again. When you don't have enough omega-3s, those membranes become rigid. When they are rigid, they cannot hold water. This is why you can drink a gallon of water a day and still have dry, flaky skin and dry eyes. The water is just flushing right through you because your cells cannot hold onto it. Walnut oil helps make those cell walls flexible and fluid again. It allows water to enter the cell and stay there. For your brain, this fluidity is essential for the speed of thought. Your brain sends electrical signals across these membranes. If the membrane is hard and dry, the signal moves slowly. That is the tip of the tongue phenomenon, where you know the word, but you just cannot spit it out. When you increase your intake of walnut oil, you are speeding up that transmission. I mean, it has a delicate nutty flavor that is perfect for finishing a dish, but you should never heat it. High heat destroys the delicate omega-3s. Just pour a little over your roasted veggies right before you eat, and it is a delicious way to water your internal gardens. Now, before we get to the absolute champion oil, I want to mention the gold standards that you likely have in your pantry already, which is extra virgin olive oil. But I want to change how you think about it. Most people use it because they think it is heart healthy, and that is true. But for seniors specifically, high quality olive oil is a vascular savior. The blood vessels in your brain and your skin are tiny. Over time, they can narrow and restrict blood flow. This means less oxygen to your brain, which kills focus, and less blood to your skin, which causes dryness and dullness. Extra virgin olive oil contains a compound called hydroxytyrosol. This is a potent antioxidant that protects the lining of your blood vessels, helping them stay open and clear. It is like a plumber for your arteries. There are populations in the Mediterranean who consume liters of this stuff every month, and they have some of the lowest rates of cognitive decline in the world. But here's the trick. It has to be real, authentic, extra virgin olive oil. If it doesn't taste a little bit grassy or peppery in the back of your throat, it might be old or refined. That peppery kick is the medicine. That is the polyphenol content working. I remember speaking with a woman named Sarah who suffered terribly from dry, itchy skin on her shins and arms, a common complaint as we age. She started taking a tablespoon of high quality olive oil with a squeeze of lemon juice every morning, like a supplement. Not only did her digestion improve, but after a month she noticed her skin wasn't flaking off anymore. Her body was finally getting the lipids it needed to seal in moisture from the inside out. It is a ritual that has been used for centuries for restaurants. But now we have arrived at the oil that I believe is the most underutilized secret weapon for seniors over 60. It is the one that specifically targets the combination of extreme dryness and the need for sharp mental focus. It is wheat germ oil. You might not hear about this one as much as olive or coconut oil, but in the anti-aging community, it is legendary. Let me explain why this specific oil is the answer to the problems we discussed at the start. Wheat germ oil is the most abundant natural source of vitamin E on the planet. You might think of vitamin E as just something in a skin cream, but when you ingest it, it acts as a powerful protector of your fatty tissues. Your brain is mostly fat. Your myelin sheath, the insulation around your nerves, are fat. Vitamin E protects these fats from oxidizing or going rancid essentially. When your brain rusts, you get brain fog. Wheat germ oil stops that rust. But it goes deeper. Wheat germ oil contains a substance called octocosanol. This is a long-chain fatty alcohol that has been shown to improve performance and responsiveness. In older adults, this translates to better reaction times and sharper mental clarity. It helps with the oxygen utilization in the body. Imagine if every breath you took delivered more oxygen to your brain cells. That is what octocosanol helps facilitate. You feel more awake, more alert, and less like you are wading through a mental swamp. And regarding the dryness, wheat germ oil is rich in ceramides. You may have seen ceramides advertised in expensive lotions. They are the glue that holds your skin cells together and keep moisture locked in. As we age, our natural ceramide production drops off a cliff. By consuming wheat germ oil, you are essentially replacing that glue from the inside. It helps treat chronic dry conditions like eczema and psoriasis, which often flare up in our 60s and 70s. It helps lubricate the eyes and the mucous membranes. I want you to picture this. Imagine a dried out sponge sitting on your kitchen counter. It is hard stiff, and if you try to bend it, it might crack. That is your body without these essential lipids. Now imagine pouring a rich golden oil onto that sponge. It immediately becomes soft, pliable, and flexible. That is what wheat germ oils does for your tissues. It restores the bounce to your skin and the flexibility to your mind. You do not need much. This is a potent oil. 1 teaspoon a day is often enough. You can mix it into a smoothie, stir it into oatmeal after it has cooked, or just take it straight if you do not mind the taste, which is quite earthy and grainy. Because it is so high in polyunsaturated fats, you must keep it in the refrigerator. If you leave it in a warm cupboard, it will spoil quickly. Treat it like fresh produce. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but I have been told to avoid fats, or I'm worried about my cholesterol. It is important to distinguish between processed industrial fats and these life-giving natural oils. Your brain requires cholesterol and fat to function. When you starve yourself of these nutrients in your 60s and 70s, you are often doing more harm than good. Of course, if you have a specific medical condition or a wheat allergy, since this is wheat germ oil, you need to be careful. In that case, walnut oil or flaxseed oil are excellent alternatives. But for the vast majority, adding these healthy fats is the missing link to regaining that feeling of vitality. Let's pause for a second. If you are finding this list helpful and you are thinking about trying one of these oils, why not give this video a thumbs up right now? It is a small gesture, but it helps other seniors find this information. And I am serious. If you have a bottle of one of these oils in your pantry already, tell me which one in the comments. I'm curious to see what you are already using. One thing I want to address is the fear that it is too late to make a difference. You might be sitting there thinking, I'm 75 and my skin is like parchment, my memory is shot, the damage is done. I want to look you in the eye and tell you that is simply not true. Your body is a miraculous self-healing machine. Every single day, your body creates billions of new cells. The question is, what ingredients are you giving your body to build those new cells? If you start giving it high-quality materials like wheat germ oil or avocado oil today, the cells you build tomorrow will be stronger, more resilient, and more hydrated than the ones you have today. I have seen people in their 80s start a protocol of healthy fats and hydration and see their energy levels return. I have seen the sparkle come back into their eyes. It is not about trying to look 20 again. It is about feeling functional, comfortable, and capable in the body you have right now. It is about being able to focus on your grandchild's story without your mind wandering. It is about waking up without your skin feeling tight and painful. These are the victories that matter. So let's recap how to put this into action, because knowledge without action is just trivia. We want to avoid the great drying of aging. To do that, we need to limit the things that dry us out, like excessive sugar and processed carbohydrates, and increase the oils that lock moisture in. First, consider swapping your cooking oil to avocado oil for its heat stability and nutrient absorption. Second, if you need a brain boost, look at coconut oil specifically for those MCTs to fuel your neurons. Third, bring in the walnut oil or extra virgin olive oil as a raw dressing for your salads to keep your blood vessels open and your cell walls flexible. And finally, the big secret weapon, try incorporating a teaspoon of wheat germ oil into your daily routine to flood your body with vitamin E and ceramides. This is your heavy artillery against dryness and brain fog. It might feel a bit overwhelming to think about buying 5 different oils. Don't do that. Just pick one. Pick the one that resonated with you the most. If your main issue is dry skin, start with the wheat germ oil. If your main issue is memory, maybe start with the walnut oil. Just make one small change. Consistency is far more important than intensity. 1 teaspoon a day for a month will do more for you than a whole cup once a month. And remember, these oils work best when they are part of a lifestyle. Hydration isn't just oil, it is also water. Make sure you are drinking enough water to give the oil something to lock in. It is a partnership. The water provides the moisture and the oil provides the seal. Without the seal, the water evaporates. Without the water, the oil has nothing to protect. I know getting older comes with challenges that no one really prepares you for. The stiffness, the dryness, the moment of forgetfulness, they can be scary. It can feel like you are losing control of the vessel you have lived in your whole life. But I want to remind you that you have so much more control than you think. You are the captain of the ship. You decide what fuel goes into the engine. You have the power to change the trajectory of your health with what you put on the end of your fork or your spoon. It is not just about living longer, it is about living better. It is about having the focus to learn a new hobby at 65. It is about having the energy to travel at 70. It is about being comfortable in your own skin, literally and figuratively. You are worth that investment. You have spent your whole life looking after others, raising families, building careers. Now it is time to turn that care inward. So I have a question for you, and I really want you to answer this one. Which of these tips surprised you the most? Did you know about the power of wheat germ oil, or was that news to you? Or maybe you have a personal home remedy for dry skin or focus that I miss. Please share your story in the comments below. I read them and I learned so much from the wisdom in this community. Your experience might be the exact thing someone else needs to read today to give them hope. And if you are sitting there thinking, I'm going to do this, I'm going to take charge of my health, then type the number 1 in the comments. Let that be your pledge to yourself. If you are skeptical, that is okay too. Type a 0. We welcome all perspectives here because that is how we learn. But if you are ready to make a change, let me see those ones. If this video helped you or gave you a new idea, please hit that like button. It tells YouTube that this is valuable content for seniors, and it helps spread this message of hope and empowerment. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We have so much more to cover about protecting your heart, your joints, and your independence. Your health is the most precious asset you have, and we are here to help you protect it. Stay strong, stay hydrated, and remember your best years can still be ahead of you if you give your body what it needs. Keep taking those small steps because they lead to giant leaps in your freedom. I will see you in the next video.